All right. All right, so first interview of the new Rob Ford show, which we're still trying to figure out exactly what our tagline is going to be. We're thinking saving the world one joke at a time.
Oh, I like it.
May work.
Yeah.
So we're here today in sunny San Diego talking with dating and style consultant Sonya Davis. She is known, what is your website? winggirlsd.com?
Yep, exactly.
So you can find her on winggirlsd.com. She basically goes around and helps nerds. So her passion is nerdy guys. She's not attracted to them, but she tries to make them presentable so she can sucker some other girls to like them.
Pretty much.
So yeah, so tell us how you got interested in that. How did you get started in that?
Let's see. Well, first of all, I've always been really interested in fashion. I mean, I've always really liked clothes, and I can spend all hours of the day around clothes. I also really like shopping for guys. Like, I've really helped out my dad, sorry dad, and boyfriends I've dated just dress a lot better and look a lot better. And it's like, how can I actually do this for a living? I mean, there's so many guys that need help with their style. Like, they look really good on paper, and then they want to date, and they want to meet cool girls, or really hot girls for that matter, but they dress kind of like a slob. And girls really notice that because style is super important and confidence, but style is also really important.
So is the paper even important at all? Does that matter?
Yes.
What if a guy doesn't have a job, but he looks great, acts great? I mean, you're still gonna consider it.
Maybe consider a hookup. But for like a long-term boyfriend or to get courted, would you really want to date a guy that has no job?
Now, are these guys that you're helping, are they looking for more of a relationship-y type, or they're like virgins? They're just looking for anything they can get right now.
Well, a lot of them have a lower confidence, and they have a very low self-esteem. So they're saying they're looking for whatever they can get, but when you actually talk to them and dig deeper, they're actually looking for a quality partner.
Okay. All right. So what do you feel is like the main similarity between all these guys? Is it really just the style, or you notice one thing that always sticks out to kind of be a recurring theme?
It's definitely with style. I mean, the combination of style and confidence. So a lot of times with a lot of these guys, they don't think they need to be more stylish because they think it doesn't matter. They think girls should like them for them, period. But the recurring theme is that when I ask them what type of girls they go for, they tell me they're going for girls that they want girls that look high maintenance and put a lot of effort into their style.
Okay.
So then the kind of joke on the situation is, okay, but you're not willing to put any effort into your style, but you want a girl that puts a lot of effort into theirs. It doesn't work that way.
So you're saying that if that's the type of girl that you want, that's stylish, somewhat successful, educated, kind of has her shit together, they should have their shit together too. They should at least be on the same plane.
100%, completely. Correct.
And you're saying the plane is not just what you do for work, not just how much money you make. It's more than that.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you met a guy who made tons of money and he's really intelligent, he's personable, well, if he's really unstylish, he generally isn't as personable as you might think, but has all those other things going for him, and he lacks confidence and style, then the girl is not necessarily going to want to be seen with them. And then that brings in the awkward factor.
Okay, so what you're really saying is girls want a guy that they can brag about to their friends.
Well, girls do want to brag about guys to their friends. But it's like important for them to be stylish and confident, but obviously girls want a guy who's intelligent. That's why if a guy looks really good on paper, they should also look stylish. It's just kind of like,
now,
duh.
I don't know. What about all these ditzy girls that have no brains themselves? Do they really want a smart guy? They have no idea what he's talking about.
Well,
I mean, if he starts talking about Democrats and Republicans, they're going to roll their eyes. And
yeah. See, I was actually referring to quality girls. that are intelligent as well.
Okay.
Like for a long-term girlfriend. And maybe like a future partner.
All right, so you're the one giving advice to all these guys, really trying to turn their life around. So what gives you the life experience? What about your past? What have you done that makes you an expert at dating guys?
Well, I was single for a very long time, and I have tons of beautiful, stylish, very intelligent, go-getter single friends also, and I know what they're looking for. I mean, they're looking for a quality guy. And if they're not, they're looking for a hookup. And honestly, you can look however you want. You can be wasted, you can be an idiot, and you can probably get laid. I mean, that's actually pretty simple. But a lot of these people, they go on dating sites, they go on to bars, they have like these girls' nights. They're really hoping that they can find something deeper, but they can't necessarily. Some do. There's like a 5% chance.
Now let's talk. All right, deeper. Let's talk about sex. Like, what if they don't care about their style? They have a giant dick.
Well, that doesn't
guys want to know this
question.
Guys want to know this question.
I still think. I mean, are you going to be overly cocky and annoying? That was actually a pun. You didn't get it, but anyways, are they going to be overly, into themselves and come off that way in bars? Because
cocky could be a turn off. Sure.
Who wants to be around somebody that's like, oh, I'm so awesome, I'm so amazing, everybody loves me? Honestly, long term.
Right.
Not me.
Right. So you're really focusing not hookups at all. Hookups, really, that's easy. Whether you have big dick, small dick, style, no style, pretty much you can get what comes at you.
Not always for guys, but for girls, it is pretty easy to hook up with somebody if you really, really wanted to.
Now, I feel like there's a lot of dating coaches that really focus on that first aspect. So obviously, you have a lot of things, and we'll dive deeper into, appearances and all that when you first are meeting a girl. Now, what about when you've already met that girl? Like, what about the relationship? I feel a lot of people aren't talking about that. How do you go from, okay, you've met a girl, you've gone out a few times, you're now hooking up, figuring out what you guys like, now you're 6 months into it. I feel like that's the point where a lot of people either screw it up, get freaked out, sabotage it in some way, and that to me is kind of like the make or break.
It really is the make or break point. I mean, it's like 6 months to make or break, and then 5 years, right? So if you haven't already, by that 6 month point, you should really be talking about life goals if they align with your partner. And if you really are looking for, a long-term partner that you can be committed with, you're not a Peter Pan, you're not trying to look at other girls around you, you really want to be with this one person, you really need to be discussing these goals and figure out an action plan on how to get there. Because girls also don't want to wait around forever to get proposed to. They don't want 6 months, but a couple years.
Now, we live in a modern society, though. So are these girls really looking to get married when they're like 22, 23, 24 now?
No.
I feel most girls are waiting until like they're hitting around 30, and then that kind of starts popping in their head, almost like a warning sign.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless if you're 22 or if you're 35, when you're in a relationship and you're thinking of moving past just like a casual dating situation, you want to have your goals aligned with your partner, because you're wasting time if not. I mean, girls do think about wasting time, and guys should be thinking about it.
I feel everyone should be thinking about that. Everyone should learn time management first.
Yeah.
That's rule number one, whether you have style or no style, brains or no brains. If you're at least managing your time, you can get to where you want to be.
Totally. And I mean, what I mean by that is, so if your partner's like, I don't ever want to get married, or I don't ever want kids, or I'm committed to moving to Europe in 3 years, no matter what, if you're not planning on doing those same things, that's going to be a waste of time. That's a red flag. And you should be following red flags, both people, the guy and the girl. These are things that you need to be talking about to have a really good relationship for a longer period of time.
So what about all these girls that get into a relationship and that kind of just goes by the wayside? They're just crazy about this guy. They get into this kind of mess of a bunch of stuff going on. And then before you know it, 7 years later, the guy really still doesn't give a shit, and they're now left with all the pieces.
That's a really sad situation. That's really depressing to even think about, actually.
It happens all the time.
It does happen, and honestly, if you're still in a relationship for 7 years and your partner doesn't give a shit about you, you really need to do some serious soul searching. But if let's push that back, you're in a relationship for 2 years and your partner is still saying the same type of thing, like, I never want to have kids, and you do, I mean, he's probably never going to want to have kids. And just because you, miss your birth control pill and get pregnant doesn't mean he's going to be happy with it or want to be with you. So wouldn't it be better to seek somebody that actually aligns with your goals and your values and the things that you dream about doing? I mean,
there's definitely a direct correlation on a full family household, on the next generation, their education, their lifestyle. I think that's why we get a lot of problems in this world, especially with shootings and crimes and unemployment, are people that live in somewhat of a broken household, or people that really didn't align those goals at the beginning.
Yep.
Would you say that's kind of correct?
I definitely agree.
So you're saying off the bat, you should really align those goals. Okay,
Yeah.
So let's go back to first meeting someone. How do you correct a guy? So let's take the typical, nerdy guy. He's on his computer most of the time, loves, playing video games. I'm assuming a lot of guys like doing that.
Yeah.
They almost use it as like a protection bubble, I feel, where they kind of dig into these, digital realms, so they don't have to face the reality of interaction between a real human being.
Yeah, it's like an escape, basically.
Now, do you feel that, I feel like most of these guys are so smart, though, in their specific areas, and that's something that they learned. There was a skill that they learned. If they're really good at computer programming or accounting or any other finance, any other type of business, they obviously spent a lot of time learning that skill, which is probably one of the reasons why they are socially inept, because they spent so much time studying that.
Right.
But you think that they could easily study social interaction and then get better at it.
No, I'm not saying it's easy. A lot of these types of guys don't necessarily work out as much as they should. And one thing about working out is it really makes you feel good, and it also helps build your confidence. There's a lot of different things and steps to take to actually be more serious about this. And if you're serious, yes, you can learn to be more socially conscious about the situations you're in. So, if you're...
So you're saying working out is a must?
Definitely. Oh my God.
Now,
completely.
So, okay, what about the guy who really doesn't work out? There's a lot of them out there. They're probably a little scared to get started. Because when you first start, if you haven't been working out for a while, and then you start it up again, those first few workouts really take it out of you.
Yeah.
So what are some advice to get these guys up and motivated and, putting that as a priority? The reason they're not doing it is because it's not a priority for them.
Well, to think about some activities they like. So I would brainstorm with them. So would you be interested in yoga? Do you like jogging? Do you like hiking? Do you like bowling? Do you like playing kickball? Are there things that you like doing that you could actually incorporate into your life? Like, if you just want to go to the gym, that's easy enough. It is a little intimidating when you first get a gym membership and you're like, I'm not going to know anybody. I might look like an idiot. But honestly, everybody feels the same way. And you just feel so good. And plus, you're paying a monthly fee, so you kind of feel another commitment to go on top of that, so it's helpful.
Okay, so have you ever been hit on at the gym?
Me? Yes. Now I go to the gym in Hillcrest, so I don't really have to worry about that. But when I've lived in other cities, I have, but hardly ever, really. Somebody's asked me if I was Russian a couple of times, actually.
That's their pickup line, just if you were Russian.
If I'm Russian.
So you're in the middle of the treadmill, and they come up to you if you're Russian.
And then a couple of people have been like, actually, this is how you should do this machine, which I actually find extremely helpful. So I'm like, yes, let's further this conversation.
So maybe that's a good way. Maybe if you do see a girl that you're interested in the gym, go try to help them with their routine a bit.
Yeah.
Now, what if you're not as good as them? What if they're doing it better than you could do?
Then maybe you should ask their opinion and just, give in a little bit and not be like the big man on campus kind of situation.
And does that work? I remember in Mean Girls, where the guy was, or the girl was acting really dumb to try to get the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So does that situation work? Try to dumb yourself down to ask for advice from the girl?
It really depends on what type of girl you're. That's not like a one-all situation.
All right.
Catch all. There you go.
So what are some things that girls are looking for?
They're looking for a guy that's confident, number one. Like if you're gonna approach somebody in a bar and you're not willing to make eye contact and you're kind of like looking down and just staring at the bottom of your drink, it's not really attractive. Also, if they also want people that, you know, actually really care about the conversation. So if you approach somebody in a bar or a lounge or an art, whatever the event is, you need to make eye contact. And you need to continue that eye contact. Instead of talking to them and then looking around, like trying to check out who else is around, you actually really need to be consistent and stay on them, basically. And also style. Like I said, style is really important. If a guy comes up to you and he's dressed kind of like a schlump, as we like to call it, that's not attractive. A girl will immediately judge you. Actually, guys, generally, I think a lot of guys kind of think about girl style too. And if a girl is dressed really schlumpy as well, you kind of think of them as not caring about who they are and their image at all. And it's actually really important. So those are a couple of things. Also, a sense of humor. If you can kind of joke around, you know, poke fun, but not in an offensive way, just like, and seem like a good conversationalist. So confidence again. Confidence and style are two really big things. Eye contact. If you do those three things, it's actually could be extremely beneficial for you at a bar.
Got it. So what about guys that think that you need some type of pickup line or opener when you're first meeting someone?
Well, a lot of girls, if they're intelligent, can see right through that. And it's kind of awkward. It's like, all right. So it's easier if a guy comes up to me just like, hey, how are you doing tonight? What's your name? I'm Scott, whatever.
So the more normal the conversation is, the more comfortable you're going to feel with that person.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that there's almost like a few key, I guess, roadblocks in that first start of a conversation? I feel like most girls give a guy maybe 20 seconds to say, yes, I'm going to continue talking to this guy, or no, I'm going to try to get out of this situation.
Yeah, and that's definitely, again, it's like the three things I mentioned. I mean, if somebody approaches me and they're talking to me and they're looking around, not paying attention, I'm going to bolt. If somebody comes up to me and they are dressed like really horribly and have zero confidence and they're stuttering and they're like, oh, you're really pretty and kind of awkward, that's a little awkward for me too and any other girl they talk to. And if I come up to a guy or a guy comes up to me or make eye contact and they're acting like a douche, that's also like a complete turnoff. Because why do I want to, you know, pursue somebody who's acting?
So that's too confident.
It's actually, I mean, I think douche and confident are different. Like, somebody's like, oh, I totally want to like hook up with that girl in the bathroom, or like, oh, you look really good in that mini skirt. I only like girls that wear short skirts, or like something like that. I'd be like, who are you and why are you talking to me? Honestly, it's embarrassing for you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now you've gone through that kind of first 15, 20 seconds where you're going to say yay or nay.
Yeah.
So you have to make it through that first roadblock. So you're saying those three top things of eye contact, style, and confidence is going to get you past that first hump.
Yeah.
Now there's a second hump after that where you have to now build a whole conversation.
Yeah.
At least make it engaging, or else it's just going to be silent and awkward.
Yeah.
All right, got it. So you wrote down here, what are some of the things that make a girl's heart go thump? You know, what is it? Now, besides, okay, you've already gone through, you've met the person, you're talking, you're having some flirtatious banter going back and forth, you know, you have something going on for the last 5-10 minutes. Now, what starts turning it on a little bit more where you're saying, you know, I could see hooking up with this guy?
Well, if a guy makes you feel sexy, or maybe they're doing some casual touches while they're talking to you, that kind of makes you feel sexy and wanted. If he makes you feel safe.
Now, expand on safe, because I think that's a pretty general term. I don't know if a lot of people are going to understand that.
Well, I mean,
Okay. Let's get that. We'll wait for these guys to move.
but I am starting to feel like a little just tired. I'll explain it to you afterwards, but so we should wrap it up.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. What's the last point you want to hit on?
Just hit on, or just like end on like sort of a casual note, you know.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about ending it. Now you've met someone, you got them in there. Obviously, the two of you are interested in each other. A lot of indicators of interest, right?
Yeah.
Which is the touching.
Yeah.
Which is playing with your hair, the eye contact.
Oh.
Obviously building some kind of chemistry, some kind of like electromagnetical attraction right there. So now, how do you take it to the next step? It's hard for someone to either try to take it to the next level that night, or do you take the number, call them, set up a date after that?
One big thing I suggest is if it's going well, you're making an interaction, it's going well, walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away when it's going well.
Walk away at the peak.
The peak. When you can tell they're interested, engaged. Also, you want to be observant. That's something I didn't mention before. Observant of what they're doing, maybe what they're talking about. They're lighting a cigarette, you want to be there to light it, etc. Observant of their actions, etc. That's something girls really appreciate it. So it's going really well, you're talking, she's like giggling, maybe twirling her hair, maybe she's touching you. That's when you walk away of like, hey, it's really nice to meet you, maybe I'll bump into you later, or something like that.
Now the reason is, if you walk away at that peak of the conversation, she's going to continue to think of you and that conversation in that same way.
Right.
And you can always come back, even if it's 10 minutes later,
exactly,
and pick up with that energy and the attitude.
Yeah.
Why, if you let it drop, and you try to drag out the initial conversation until it starts to just get boring and you really have nothing else to talk about, now she has a whole different opinion of you, and it kind of ruins the next steps.
Exactly. So walk away, maybe do your thing for a while. She'll either come to you, or she'll be looking around for you, wondering what she did wrong. Or you can even, maybe you're on your way out, you see her again, and you're like, hey, again, it was really nice seeing you. Like, do you want to maybe grab a drink sometime? Like, here's my number.
Got it.
Don't even necessarily ask for her number. Give her your number. Because then you're just kind of like, hey, you can call me if you want to do something. Or you can follow up with me.
I feel like most girls probably wouldn't call.
Not necessarily. Not if you really engage them well enough.
I mean, we're talking about the first 5 or 10 minutes. I feel like you really need to be, almost, at least 25 minutes.
But girls in this generation will call.
Okay. All right. There you go.
It's a different time.
So that's Sonya Davis. You can get her at winggirlsd.com. Top 3 things: confidence, style, and eye contact. You get those, and you'll be meeting whoever you want.
Yes.
All right.